Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you? How is everybody doing? It's Tuesday, Testimony Tuesday, rise and shine. It's a great day to be alive. Any day that you're above ground is a great day to thank God, to worship Him, to praise Him for the life that you have. So this morning, I probably will not be very organized in terms of my thoughts, but here goes. So I recently got a new phone, and because of getting a new phone, a lot of the things that I had saved in my previous phone, which included all my podcasts that I was following on Podbean and Podplayer, kind of disappeared. However, that gave me an opportunity to look for some other entertainment, something else to listen to as I walk or run in the mornings. And of course, sometimes I listen to music on SoundCloud, but most of the time I listen to podcasts on Podplayer. And some of my favorites previously, I used to listen to One Church LA just because I like their sermons, Pastor Ray Roberts and Sarah Jakes Roberts. One Church LA or the Potter's House. What are they now called? One Church at the Potter's House, something. Anyway, I like their service, their sermons. I also listen to Lewis Howes, Maston Kipp, Derek Rydell, Robin Sharma, all amazing motivational individuals to listen to in the morning to kind of get your juices flowing and your day going, right? So, and some of you listen to Faith Mora, even though I don't have a podcast, but maybe coming soon. Let's see how much we can stretch, right? How much capacity Faith has. So anyway, I just discovered a new podcast that I absolutely love, and that's NPR, How I Built This on NPR with Guy Raz. And so I just listened to the first episode where he was interviewing Kevin, Systrom and Mike Keeger, who are the founders of Instagram. And I've never heard their story. And I thought that their story might give someone some hope this morning, because I'm one of those people who I try to give hope to a large demographic of people. And I know for a fact that people who are in business, people who are trying to be entrepreneurs, people who are trying to be innovators, people who are trying to be idealists, people who are trying to put an idea out into the world, people in business have it rough. It's not easy to go after your purpose and to go after something that you think is a product that should be out in the world, creating a product, being a creator, or selling a product, or being of service to someone. You have to do something with that gut check, knowing that this is a problem that exists in the world and that there are customers out there who are willing to pay you for what it is you bring into their lives, right? So I know entrepreneurs have a hard time in terms of optimism and figuring out how it is to be in the trenches every day, sometimes not making payroll, and other times having those victories that lead to that final outcome where they're able to make profit from their business. I know it's tough for entrepreneurs. So anyway, that being said, I actually stumbled on this podcast this morning, NPR, How I Built This with Guy Raz. Look it up. And the story I listened to was the story of Kevin and Mike, that's what I'm going to call them, Instagram founders, because I don't know how to pronounce their last names, and how they started Instagram. So did you guys know that Instagram was first and foremost a check-in app? Basically, at the time, this was like in 2009 going into 2010, it was during a time when there were all these apps coming up for people to check in terms of location and GPS and where they are in the world. And so Kevin and Mike had this idea that people may want to not only check in, but also check in and also post a photo of where they are in the world. Novel idea. At the time, no one was doing it in 2010. And at the time, people had phones that were taking pictures, right? So it was that time when people were transitioning from having the cameras to actually using their phones to take, those grainy type pictures, but the pictures were getting a little bit more better in terms of quality. And people were now having their cameras in their phone in their pockets in 2010. I know it seems crazy. That was only 8 years ago. Oh, was it? Yeah, 8 years ago. It was novel. It was a new idea to have a phone in your pocket that serves as a camera. Now everybody is uploading all their photos online, and it's the norm, right? So anyway, they started the company. They started formulating the app. It was called Bourbon, and it was a check-in app with a photo. And they, I don't know how app creation works, but obviously they were techie people. And when they started, they had about 85 people doing this. And they started shopping this app to investors around San Francisco. And they met with one investor who was interested in the product, because while they sat there with the investor, like 5 more people joined Bourbon. It was called Bourbon then. It wasn't called Instagram. And so the investor said, hey, did you tell people to sign on to this app right when I was sitting here having coffee with you? And Kevin said, no, actually, it's just kind of happening organically. And so the investor said, okay, I think I can give you 50 grand to try this. I love angel investors, don't you? People who can see an opportunity and see someone's passion and drive, and then they say, maybe this is something I should put some money to, because you never know, it may actually work. And so they did this from their basement or wherever on one computer, started the app, and it was growing like it was just going very, very slow. And one day, Kevin, I guess, he went on vacation to Mexico, and he asked his girlfriend, he's talking to his girlfriend about the app and the fact that they're still working on the prototype. And the girlfriend tells him, I like that people are starting to post, and you have these 100 people who have joined the app, but I don't think I'm going to post as much. This is his girlfriend. And so he's like, why wouldn't you post as much? What is it that's holding you back from posting? And so she said, well, I don't take really good pictures like your friend Gary. And so he says, well, it's because Gary uses an app as a filter, and that's how he gets this amazing, beautiful pictures. And so she says, well, you may want to add a filter for people like me who want to have beautiful pictures on your app. And so that's how they ended up with X Pro 1. And his very first Instagram photo on his profile is his girlfriend's foot and the dog or something, and using that filter. And once they launched the new prototype with the filter and the ability to take photos, check in, and all of that, guess what? In a night, that app went from 100 people to 25,000 people. And then it went from 25,000 people to 1 million people in 2 months. And then it went from 1 million people to 10 million people in 1 year. And then it went from 10 million people to 800 million people in 7 years. And Instagram is now valued at, it was bought out by Facebook for $1 billion. So anyway, that's what I learned from NPR this morning. I wanted to share that story with you because it's really awesome to hear success stories from entrepreneurs, because I know how hard it is to be an entrepreneur, and how people who are building things, people who are idealists, people who are trying to send out a product in the world, to put out their platform, to be creators out here in the world. It's tough, right? Because not only do you have to find an idea, you have to solve a problem, right? That people are willing to pay you for. and I know how hard it is to start. And from these two entrepreneurs, the thing they said is important for people to realize is stay woke, right? When you start seeing things transitioning, you know, keep your eyes open. When you start seeing things in the world changing, like for them, they saw that transition from taking pictures on camera and using your phone to take those pictures, and they saw that opportunity on the fact that people have a camera in their pocket, so they're walking, they're driving, they're going to the beach, they're going everywhere, and said, hey, why don't people check in and show where they are in the world, because it's just that much easier to take a photo and upload it immediately using your data on your phone. And that's how they ended up with Insta Camera Telegram, Instagram. And who's not on Instagram? Shoot, I am. So follow, like the Hope Hub on Instagram. I'm still trying to figure it out. Actually, I don't use Instagram. I don't really capitalize it on Instagram as much as I should. The last person that I interviewed, she was like, you should be capitalizing Instagram. You should be on there more because there's so much more activity and followership and likes. But, you know, I'm still trying to figure that one out. Okay. So I should say, Kevin and Mike, the one thing in terms of hope for your day that they say that entrepreneurs, people who are in ideation, people who are innovators, creators should know is know how to look for opportunities and look for luck. And understand, you know, when you're in that vein where you see opportunities, do not give up. Make sure that you have grit. Make sure that you have perseverance. Make sure that you're resilient, because there are things that are definitely going to come across your desk or your life as a business person where you want to give up, where you'll say, maybe this is not an idea for this time. It's an idea whose time has not come. And it's so easy to give up. When you're in business, right? As he says, it's very, very easy to give up, but keep going at it, because for them, from 100 to 25,000 in 2008 to the, not 2008, when Barack Obama was his next campaign, I think 2011 or 12, not 2008, the next one, 4 years later, he used Instagram. He opened an Instagram profile, and they were like, we cannot believe that the president of the United States is on Instagram. And this is now something that everybody knows. No one is no longer saying Instagram, the photo sharing app. People just say Instagram. Just like Google, no one says Google, the search engine. They just say Google it, right? So that's my hope strategy for you all this morning, that if you are someone who is trying to push out an idea to the world and you really feel in your gut that this is something that is going to solve problems for consumers, and something that you have passion behind and drive behind it, do it. Work hard, have that grit, have that resilience, have that perseverance, and keep pushing forward, because its time will come. And as you put action behind it and as you start pushing forward, it will manifest. Whatever it is that's your dream, your aspiration, your hope, your business, whatever it is, it'll come to pass. So God bless you all. Have an amazing day here on the Hope Hub. And say hi, like my video, share my videos, continue to log on here on the Hope Hub. God bless you. Bye-bye.